Donald Trump might be the one facing the most legal trouble this week for very obvious reasons, but Republicans are hell-bent on trying to convince you that it is in fact President Biden who has done the most egregious things imaginable. And this week, Republicans claimed that they have gotten this secret form from the FBI where a paid informant claims to have insider knowledge that President Biden, when he was vice president, accepted a bribe from a Ukrainian company in order to oust that prosecutor in Ukraine. We all remember the story. The international community wanted that prosecutor removed because the prosecutor was doing nothing to weed out corruption in the country. So Biden went overseas, helped push that, was one of the major players in that whole thing, at the request, of course, of the Obama administration. And now, this paid informant for the FBI says that years and years and years ago, while Donald Trump was in office and Bill Barr was Attorney General, I gave this form to them and said Biden, as vice president, was bribed to go out there and get rid of that prosecutor whose name I forget, unfortunately. But this week, Republicans finally got their hands on that document, and now they're telling us that Biden committed treason. And that is the exact word used by Republican Representative Andy Biggs when he talked to Fox News this week, and he said this. He would need to be impeached, and then, once he was impeached, hopefully Democrats in the Senate would recognize how grave the situation is and encourage him to resign like Barry Goldwater did to Richard Nixon, and would have to be indicted because this is gross misconduct, and some would suggest treasonous. I'm holding my tongue on that yet. We have to find out how extensive that was, and we have to take action. Enough talk. Talk is talk. But if we produce this evidence that we are starting, that's starting to pile up, by the way, there's so much evidence, it's voluminous, that's taking everything that we have with our staff to go through this. But if it piles up in the direction it seems to be headed, he should be impeached, and the Democrats cannot defend him with the lies that we heard earlier this week. They will have to come to grips with this thing. Yeah, because it's the Democrats that are living in the alternative reality right now, defending a criminal, right? Right? You sure it's not your party, Andy Biggs, that's going absolute ape shit on Twitter because Donald Trump was indicted again last night? These people are living in an alternative reality. But I gotta tell you, if you've got information, if you've got evidence, if you've got hard evidence that would lead to President Biden's impeachment, do it. Like literally at this point, you would be doing the Democratic Party a favor. Do you idiots not realize that? You look at the polls, a majority of Democrats don't want Biden to run again. A majority of the public doesn't want Biden to run for president again. And you're sitting here like, we're going to get this SOB out of office. And the Democrats are like, oh no, how scary. Oh geez, what am I going to do? You would be doing the party the biggest favor imaginable because we got a year and a half before the next presidential election. We could bring in a bunch of new candidates. We could have a real primary and pick somebody who's not Biden. So, oh no, don't impeach Joe Biden. We're so incredibly scared of that. Whatever will we do other than maybe make the public happy and not run the guy the majority of people don't want to see running again? So do what you want, Andy Biggs and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all the other people hyping this document. Because if you succeed in what you're trying to do, you're doing the Democratic Party the biggest favor you could ever imagine.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.